You know, my night train's relatively new, and I'm still going through everything, just looking, inspecting, and making sure things are good. You know, I want it to be safe when I ride. And one of the things I noticed was the front wheel, the axle and everything, there seems to be a little bit of grime in there, and I know that's sort of normal, but I'm going to take the front wheel off. I'm going to inspect the bearings. I'm going to inspect the axle and make sure everything looks good, and we'll just take it from there, right? Let's get into it. I'm going to have to jack up the Night Train, and so we're going to use the jack that I just rebuilt, the OTC jack. If you want to watch that video, you can find it on the DevilsOwn YouTube channel, but it's pretty good. So anyway, we're going to use this, and we're going to use that to jack up the front tire. So let me take this off real quick. All right, so there she is, not jacked up yet, but I just noticed in here, I don't know if you can see it, but it just looks a little grungy, looks a little crusty, and I'm going to take everything off and get in there. All right, so I'm going to get this under here and make sure. Looks like I got a WD-40 those wheels. And I'm pretty confident it's good, but we'll see. So there's safety notches here on the jack. I'm just going to pump it up to the first one here. There. See how that's kind of locked in right there? So they just keep the bike from dropping suddenly, which, well, we don't want. So far it looks good. And I'm going to leave it sit here for just a second to make sure that we're good. So let me show you the tools that I have while we're waiting here. I need a set of Allen wrenches here to take off the axle bolt covers, and I've got my Craftsman set. I'll probably need more. You know what? I'm going to need a torque wrench, so I'll grab those. Hang on. So I got my torque wrenches. It's a nice set I got on Amazon, and you know, I'll put a link down there in the description. I need my torque wrenches. I've got my Harley manual. Shows how to take the front wheel off. I know how, but we definitely want to follow the instructions, right? So first thing I'm going to do is take off the axle nut covers. And I believe that that is a 3/32. So let's see if this is the right size. Yeah, good. When I first got the bike, he had some chrome axle nut covers on here, which were cool. And as I was taking them off, I realized that he had siliconed everything in place. And, you know, I get it. You want to be... Oh, there's two of these, by the way. That's why I can't get it to come off. I'm like, why isn't this coming off? It's not that hard. Yeah, there's two little hex screws in here. So, yeah, you'll see he siliconed all around the bolt. Well, there's not a bolt on this side, but you'll see. Okay, so I got one of the covers off. You can see there's actually two. It's these little things like this where if you rush, I don't know, these seem like the things that should come off the quickest, you know, but I just wanted to take my time because this is kind of where I lose my patience and I just don't want to screw anything up. So here's the axle bolt. We have to take the brake off. I'm going to grab my Craftsman tools. Can you guys see this? Yeah. I'm going to take the brake off. I'm going to zip tie it to the frame. I just need to figure it out as I go. And that's the journey for me. Okay, this is a 10 millimeter and it's a little chewed up here. So I'm going to have to be careful with this because I don't want to strip it out more. And I'll probably get something to replace this. I have a feeling this is stripped for a reason. Yeah, guys, that's not good. That's not good at all. One thing that I didn't like about this, if I'm honest, let me get some, is the guy was so like anal about everything. And, you know, he Loctited everything down. Probably used Loctite red on everything, which would be completely unnecessary for a bolt like that. But, you know, people just feel they have to do things in a certain way, I guess, to feel secure. But this is going to be a problem. I'm going to have to get some of these bolts and replace these for sure. But I'll give it a little bit of liquid silicone here and see if I can get those off. Yeah, this is unfortunate. This could stop the project. I'm going to try to get a rubber mallet and see if I can coax this off of here a little bit. Not too much. Just try to hit it a couple times and get it to come loose. Wow. That's okay. I guarantee you there's a ton of Loctite in there. We'll see. Hey, I hate to do that, but you know what? That shit's locked on there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more 12 point. Oh my God. Why? Why did you tighten it so much, dude? Not necessary. And I've got a thread chaser kit. When I get these out of here, I'm definitely doing the thread chaser. Yeah, look at that. That's just Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Not necessary. I can see right now, I can see all the Loctite in there. It's just crazy. You don't need that much, my friend. Oh my God, look at that. That's just nuts. That is just crazy, nuts, insane. So I'll go through this with some thread chaser, and yeah, that's just, it's insane. I'm just gonna zip tie this to the frame just so it stays somewhere. It's not really necessary, but you know, it's just easier so it's not banging around on anything. No need to damage the frame at all. Okay, so that's out of the way. That's crazy. We'll get these taken care of. We'll get these taken care of. Look at that. That's just nuts. And this is these 12 points are kind of stripped out a little bit. I will order some. So this is going to be fun. If those were Loctited on, this is going to be fun. Ready to have some fun? I am. Is this it? Hello. And then that's my big ratchet. Okay. The big dog. All right, guys. Let's see. Yep. And I'm gonna need some more power. Man, I can see the Loctite. Anyway, some people just have a, you know, they just have a level of comfort. So I'm just going to loosen this guy. And then on the other side, we have a couple lock bolts. Let's go back over here. Lock bolts that I have to get loosened. And they're down here. 9/16? No. 1/2. Okay, these are 1/2 inch. Oh, we're going to have to do this for every set of bolts. Oh, yeah, that's all right. That is really all right. I'm okay with that. Okay. Oh God, and that one was not on at all. Huh. So we take these, we loosen these guys, and then we pull the, I'm going to take the bolt off the other side. We'll pull the axle through, and there's spacers right here. There's a spacer on here, and there's a spacer on the other side. And they're two different sizes. So what I'm going to do is just put a piece of tape on the one that goes on the right side here, so I know that it goes on the right side. Let's take that bolt off the rest of the way. When I pull the axle out, there's going to be some weight to it. So I'm going to put this little jack under the front tire and lift it up just a little bit. And actually I'll put this is going to go on the left spacer. So the left spacer has the tape on it. I'm going up to the second safety notch. Okay, so I'm on the second safety notch. I'm going to switch these jacks. So this one in the front, this one in the front isn't a low profile. So I would have to lift the bike up a lot higher So I'm just going to put this here really, this is really just to give the bike something to kind of fall back on. Just in case, because it's going to want to go backwards. And that's it, just like right like that. Okay, I'm going to unloosen the screw from the other side. And then on here, there's a hole. There's a hole that goes through the axle. And I'm going to need to pull the axle through. Yeah. So there's the axle. Here's the left spacer, and then there went the right spacer. Yeah, it looks like we're okay. Bike is up in the air. I'm going to just keep all these parts on here. That's the right spacer. And then here's my... All right, so I'm going to bring these over here. I'm going to get some axle grease. Right? Because we're going to need that. I'm going to get some paper towels because my hands are filthy. And I'm going to need to move the camera around. Okay. So let's inspect the wheel.
We need to get you a signed recording in process because we don't know if you're recording or not.
This looks okay. Not a lot of play in here. So I think that side looks good. I'll clean that up. I'll flip the wheel over and we'll take a look at the other side. We're looking good here too. It's a little bit of wear on here, not too much. It's a little grooved in, not too much. We'll inspect the brakes later. And let me wipe that grease off because grease is not what we want. So I'm going to take a look at the tire since this is off. The spokes. Yeah.
Danica's new car. That's really cute.
I don't know what that is.
We need to get her license. You have a permit though? Yeah, she doesn't have a permit yet. Oh,
Well, the tires have been on for a while.
oh, that's good. Yeah.
I may just get them replaced. They've been sitting. And there's a code. 1723. So I believe these are 2 years old. 23 is the year. So yeah, probably. And they don't feel as rubbery, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. They feel a little more worn in, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can see, but there's still silicone on here from when the gentleman before me. So remember, this is my left, looking from the driver's seat. That's my left, and that's my right. I'm going to clean this up and re-grease it. I'm going to take all the grease off and I'm going to re-grease it. Why, Gene? Because I want to know that I did it and I did it right. Yeah, there's a lot of crap on here. You know, I mean, I was just talking about this other gentleman being kind of anal, and then here I am. But I don't think that the silicone was necessary to hold the, it was just to hold the axle nut covers on. I just don't think that was necessary at all. And it just really makes this messy. So we're going to clean it as best we can. And by the way, today is December 22nd, 2025. I ordered a set of Bassani Road Raid 2. And they'll be here tomorrow. The weather is supposed to be, we have a storm coming in. It's supposed to get a lot of rain. But, you know, let me give this a shot. I'm going to do a video where I'm taking off the Vance & Hines staggered big shots. And I'm going to put the Bassani Road Rage on because that's the closest I can find to the Thunder headers. Somebody get this kit that I purchased. This thread chaser kit. And we're going to chase some threads and see what this looks like. So this is the first time that I'm doing this. And that's the kit. I'll put a link down there. That's it. It was the 5/8 with the closer thread. We just put it on there. And the thread chaser won't cut threads. It's just going to clean all the crap out of there. And I'm going to get another tool. And I'm going to use it to get in there even a little bit more and clean everything out. Because it's off the bike. So let's clean it, right? I don't think that's going to ruin anything. I mean, those are pretty clean. But you know what? I do want to spend a little extra time on getting this silicone off. I know that I have it off the bike now. And now is actually the time to do it. So I'm going to do it. And just going to do it with a wire brush here. I think that's good, guys. Now let's do these. Let's just clean them. A little bit of brake fluid. These are the spacers. And I mean, we're here. How often am I going to take the front wheel off? You know, let's just take a little bit of extra time, and when I get it back together, then I'll know that, you know, we did a good job. I think that's good. Okay. I'm working on the left one. I just took the tape off. Left. Here's another thing too. As you do this stuff, you kind of learn these little tricks. I'm not going to be super anal about this, but I am going to clean it. Okay. I'm going to leave the wheel alone. And then what we'll do is, once I get all the parts back on here, so this is the left, we will get all the torque specs and everything like that. All right, I mean, that looks okay. That's a little, I don't like that. That's a little kind of scraped up. So we'll get a little bit of axle grease here. Don't need a lot. Right, what I have to do is get the tire back up there. You got to put the right spacer in. And as the axle comes through, I got to put the left spacer in. All right, let me get the tire. It's hard for me to tell. Okay, here we go. All right. On the other side here, put the second spacer on. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to get into the manual here in a minute, and we're going to see what we have to tighten these down to from a torque perspective. Just want to make sure we're in all the way. I decided to just read the specs out of the manual. It was so bright, the video got completely saturated and you couldn't see anything anyway. Apply a light coat of Loctite Anti-Sieze to the axle. Verify the axle spacers on right and left side are properly installed. Okay, so it wasn't axle grease. It was Loctite Anti-Sieze, which is a whole different beast. It's a whole different thing, dudes. So we made a mistake. I know somebody out there, while I was putting the axle grease on, was saying, no, dude, it's not axle grease, it's Loctite. Okay? So Loctite it is. We just have to go through the process of getting this off again. I've got my spacers marked still. That spacer's going to fall. Maybe not. Reading the manual is a good thing. Brake cleaner. Let's clean this guy up. Now, let's read the instructions, shall we? Apply a light coat of Loctite Anti-Sieze lubricant. Verify the axle spacers are properly installed. Install the washer and left axle nut. Hold the right side axle nut with a wrench, then tighten the left axle nut to 60 to 65 foot-pounds. Weird, I would suspect it would be axle grease, but unless it's the same thing. I don't know. I'm just going to do what the manual tells me. Some things I don't mind figuring out, and you guys know that I love doing that. But then there's other times where, like, safety is really a part of, doing it the right way. So I will always, for those types of things, want to follow your guidance in the manual. Okay. All right, so we're in on the one side there. This jack is fantastic. It's a fantastic idea. So let me see if I need to put blue Loctite on the threads, probably. So 60 to 65 foot-pounds. Let's do 63. And I am going to put some blue Loctite on there. So some Loctite 243. I'm just going to put a little bit on there. I think I'm going to get a new tire. I didn't like the way that looked. So I'm supposed to hold this side so it doesn't spin. There you go. That was 63. And my understanding is once it clicks, you're in. You don't have to hit it 2 or 3 times. Once it clicks, you're at 63. Or whatever. Okay. Tighten the front slider cap screw to 11 to 15 foot-pounds. And then, so tighten the front slider cap screw 11 to 15. And then tighten the rear to 11 to 15 foot-pounds. So that's going to be 13 foot-pounds. So we do the front one first, and then we do the back one. And they're both 11 to 15, and this was a 1/2 inch, and we are at 13 foot-pounds. So we'll do the front one first, and then we tighten these snug by hand first. Okay. Okay. We let the back down slowly here, just to make sure. Okay. And then let me lower this girl down. I gotta pump it up a little bit to be able to get this off of here. Okay. And let's let her down. I think I'm good with, yeah, the straps are just going to loosen as it lowers. I don't like that. I'm going to have to take a look at that. See, that was coming down a little too fast for my liking and a little too bouncy. I didn't really like that. So we'll have to look into that because that's not cool. The front brake caliper. What is that going to look like? Well, I don't know. Let's figure it out. Okay, my friends. I'm not going to worry too much about the pad. You know what I'm saying? So, there you go. The brakes look okay. I don't have enough room to do anything. I'm sorry. I'm not complaining. I am kind of, but let's do a 10 millimeter. Yeah. This is the guy. Yeah, this was crazy trying to get this off of here. Or you can just do that. See that? Okay, so I would say that looks a hell of a lot better. Let's do the same to this guy. Crusty. The thread chaser on here. And this thread chaser, seriously, I put one of my earlier videos, you'll see where I put a cam plate cover on, like the small cosmetic cover, and I didn't clean the screws off, and I stripped them out. And you just, it sucks. Especially on a Harley. Everything is like, aluminum. I think that looks good, man. Now, in here, it's a little crusty. So I'm going to get, if I have any Q-tips, and I'm going to run a Q-tip in there with some brake cleaner on it. Very apprehensive about, oh, there it is. And this bigger bolt comes out the back, and I don't think I can reverse thread that in there, so we're not going to do that. All right. Put a little bit of blue Loctite on this guy. Not a lot. Yeah, this is, I don't like how tightly he had those on here. I am going to order some new ones. Tighten bottom to 28 to 38 foot-pounds. 28 to 38, 28 to 38. So the bottom one first, and then the top one. That one's okay. Okay. I mean, it's back on there maybe since I pounded on it. There. That's all you need, my friend. We'll do it a little more, 27.5. But even that's not much more. Okay. Hey, who am I to argue with the manual? Definitely grab this rethreading kit. I mean, seriously, just made me feel better. I got to clean up those bolts. I get to clean up those threads. There she is. Everything looks okay. We'll take her out for a spin. It's all cleaned up. And hopefully the wheel doesn't fall off, and hopefully the brakes work. Yeah, I mean, fun. We put the tent up and we did our thing. You know, we went step by step. We got the front tire off. We found that there's a piece on the tire that's a little questionable. So I'm going to get some new tires for it just to be safe. We got the brake caliper screws and all the screws taken off, cleaned up. We inspected everything. We got the axle re-greased. Everything's cleaned up. Brake calipers back on. I'm still going to order the bolts. And that's it. The Bassani's come in tomorrow, but we're supposed to get a rainstorm in here. Pretty good one. But I'll do that video as soon as I can. I've got the, let me show you. I've got the Vance & Hines staggered, I think, big shots on here. We'll fire those babies up. So we'll take her for a ride. I'll do some butt torque tests. I'll do some tests at about 50, 55 miles an hour as far as like torque and horsepower with the big shot staggered. And then we'll get the Bassani's on there, Road Rage 2-into-1 short. And we'll do the same test and we'll see if the Bassani's are as torquey and as good as I remember the Thunderheaders being. So we'll do it. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.